Hello, my noble band of outlaws. Outlaw Samurai coming at you live with a video. Yes, the ad for wanted Outlaws quick and easy chili video. Now, three things. One, this may seem like a lot of shit for chili. Now, you can season to your liking. It's just, these are all the seasonings that I typically use in pretty much everything that I cook. Second, the chili itself is quite simple to make. The only laborious, time-consuming part is the cutting of the hot dogs and or frying of the meat you choose to cook it with. And third and finally, I can't think of a third reason, so let's get started. Now, you can use any kind of meat you want for this chili. It's not specific to any one kind. You can use bratwurst, you can use hot dogs, you can use chicken breast, you could use beef, pork, hell, fish if you want. The only important thing is that we do not make anything vegan because that's unholy and sacrilegious. Outlaw does not like vegan shit. This belly was not made by vegetables. Now, the actual ingredients of this chili make it so that the price overall can be highly fluctuative. Now what I mean by that is, the standard recipe for this chili is your standard meat, a jar of pasta sauce, a can of refried beans, and 2 cans of diced tomatoes, fire roasted, preferably by me, Outlaw. And you just add these basic ingredients together as needed. If you don't want to add any meat, this can also make a very good chili style dip for your game day. Now, first things first, we turn the pot on. You want to put it on medium-high heat so that it has a chance to heat up. Because like I said, this is laborious. Next, take your food lube of choice. In this case, it's butter or whatever the hell. I can't believe it's not butter actually is supposed to be. I think it's supposed to be some kind of margarine. Really what you're looking for at this time is just to get your cooking lubricant heated up. Now I don't put any set amount of meat in here because I kind of cook the Asian way with feeling. But I definitely make sure I add a good amount of meat to my chilies. Now, if you're doing this with raw meat, 5-second roll. If you're doing this with raw meat, naturally you're going to want to cook that all the way through, and you're going to want to cut the meat into similar sizes. Since I am just using hot dogs, such precociously cautious steps are not necessary. My uncle and grandmother in the background making unnecessary noise. Just a moment. Nope. So as I said before, since I am not really worried about making these of any particular size, I can just slice them up. But if you are going to use raw meat, or if you're going to make a more complicated chili, my suggestion to you would be to cut everything same size, so that it all cooks evenly.
Huh? This over there. Where? Right there. Right here? Come on.
Then, a small handful for the cook. Once you've gotten your hot dogs all nice and sliced up, keep an eye on your butter if you're going to use butter. Make sure it doesn't burn. Or margarine or whatever the hell you use. Heat back up. Give me a spoon. Once that's all nice and stirred up, then add your hot dogs. And finally, I like to add soy sauce, fish sauce, little hot sauce, Louisiana, because I find it has just the right amount of heat, but also good flavor. Grated garlic if you want to be fancy and impress your friends. Some nice garlic juice in there. Next, salt. Black pepper, red pepper. Again, this is the Outlaw Samurai version. You can make it as you see fit. Red pepper, Cajun two-step, since you can never add too much garlic to something, garlic powder. For those who like the flavor but not so much the consistency like I do, onion powder. And then just a tidbit of water. The water is to help turn the seasoning and the rest of the sauces into like a miniature broth kind of thing, just to help the spices dissolve and mix together well. Then once you've done that, and you have a leftover jar that you don't want to get rid of. Now this is a trick that you can also use when you're making spaghetti. Just put a little bit of water in the jar and shake it lightly, and you can get all the sauce out. Now you're probably wondering, well, isn't that going to make a watery sauce? No, because you're going to be cooking and slightly boiling the water out to begin with. So first, Open that. Now the order you do this in doesn't really matter, but I find the best order to do this in is to start with the fire roasted tomatoes first. Just kind of dump them in there. Remember, wipe the lid off. Yeah, just kind of dump them in there. Take your water and kind of just rinse out that can. You want to make sure you add as much flavor as you can without wasting anything. And like I said before, the water will be cooked out as the chili simmers. Just stir that together. Plus, the thickening agent will also help. You could probably even do this to make a quick and simple tomato soup. Next, the jar. Again, wash out that jar. And add that. And now the final step is to add the part that turns it from a tomato soup into chili, because it's beans technically. This type of chili recipe is really designed to accommodate last minute dinner choices. Probably some Super Bowl shenanigans, or if it's the middle of winter and you're craving a nice pot of chili, but it's late at night and you don't have time to go through the laborious regular process of making it. And again, same as before. Make sure you get all that good refried bean goodness out of the can. Then you kind of just break up the refried beans in the pot. Stir until everything is well incorporated. Since there's nothing really delicate in here, you don't really have to worry about breaking anything. Now this does take a minute or two, but as we can already see, it's already starting to get slightly thicker with just adding in the refried bean portion. Like I said, you want to make sure to break up the refried beans. The reason I add the refried beans in last is because there's all the liquid in there to help break them up easier. Plus you have the hot dogs and the tomatoes. Everything just kind of helps break it up easier and faster. Just kind of scoop it up from the bottom periodically to make sure you have all the refried beans. Now, how you can tell when the refried beans are completely mixed in is that it will have this slightly glossy, glassy sheen on top. That's how you'll know that this is all incorporated well. And from here, it is literally simplicity in its own right. All that's left is to let the chili heat up and self-thicken and stirring periodically to make sure nothing sticks and burns at the bottom. And with that is Outlaw Samurai's quick, easy, lazy chili. So until next time, I know a band of outlaws, Outlaw Samurai tells all y'all be crazy rednecks, be safe, use your weapons. Obligatory blade footage because this is Outlaw Samurai. And I'm out. Peace.